Hi artists, let's learn some basic watercolor techniques. We'll start with watercolor trays, a little bit of water, and a brush. Remember, we want our brushes to have a great hair day. We don't want to smush them into the paint or onto our paper. Remember, watercolors need water to make them work. I'm dipping my brush into my water and then I am swirling or swiping it in the color that I would like. If I need to pick up more paint, I'm going to get a little bit more water, swirl it around some more, and then go again. So again, I am swirling or swiping my brush into my paint. I'm not smushing it and scooping up huge chunks of paint at a time. Here I am going to try something called dry brushing. I am not going to pick up a lot of water. My brush is just picking up a little bit of that paint, and then I am swiping it across my paper. So again, just a tiny bit of water to make that paint work. This is a great technique for something like hair or grass or some sort of texture that you would like to achieve. Here I am trying a technique called wet on wet. I am wetting the paper first, then I am applying some paint on top. It creates a very cool effect. Now remember artists, if you would like a new color, you need to wash your brush before putting it in the new color. We don't want mixed up yucky paint for any other friends to use. Here I've mixed two colors together and I can see how they are blending in the wet spot that is already there. The next technique I'm going to try is called Oil Pastel Resist. I'm using a white pastel to create a drawing. It's a little bit harder to see what I have drawn with the white pastel on the white paper, but if you tilt your paper into the light, you can see the oil pastel that's on the paper. Now I'm going to pick up some water. I'm going to swirl it around in my dark blue, and then I am going to brush on top of the oil pastel that's there. You can see the oil pastel is resisting the paint, and I can see the design I created underneath. Here I am going to be using a technique that is a little bit different to create a different texture. I'm going to use salt to act as sort of a resist. Where the salt is touching the paper, it's going to end up being lighter in color because the salt is actually pushing the watercolor away. It's a little bit tricky to see on the video, so I'm going to do it a couple of times and then hold up my paper to the camera so that you can see it a little bit better. You really want to make sure that the area you are putting salt on is really wet, because then the salt will really try and push that water away. The last thing I'm going to mention is creating a gradient. So here I've picked up a lot of color with my brush and I'm applying it to my paper. I'm going to get a little bit more water and then I'm going to try and spread that color out without picking up more color. Remember, the more water you use, the lighter your colors will be. The less water and the more paint that you pick up, the darker your colors will be. So here you can see that I'm working on applying paint and water. The more water I use, the lighter my color is going to be. Have fun trying out these techniques, artists, and be creative.